I've got about an hour and a half of this event left, and I've decided to challenge myself just to make it a little bit harder. I'm Professor Voqas, and this is Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
Hello, Professor. I didn't see you there.
Since the last time we played together, I did make it through the third set of tasks, and actually through the fourth set of tasks as well. One note about the fourth set of tasks, the place 3 lavender brown fragments. Because I opened the registry by accident during the first and second task, if you saw that last video, the third task asked me to get family experience, asked me to get rune stones. So for the brilliant event, I needed to get brilliant family experience. I actually did run fortresses to get that lavender brown fragments. Mainly to get the family experience to build up to that. So, interestingly enough, I built up to 3 so I could place her image, but of course I was trying to save it for, we're on the bonus task now, place 5 brilliant Quidditch changing room images. Now, I could have placed the image, honestly, placed the image and then just re-got it or whatever for this. Not a big deal. And I had to get it for the next step anyway. But, because I like to get this on camera, I didn't want to place the image. So I actually tested something out, which was to go into fortresses with max fragments on lavender brown and ran the fortresses with brilliant runestones just to see if it would still award me fragments. I will say on the reward screen of fortresses, it still didn't even give me like a blank. It kept showing me the fortress foundable I got. Didn't show me lavender brown. Ran a couple, backed out. I was actually getting credit for getting lavender brown fragments, even though I was at max fragments. So, if it ever becomes necessary for you to do something similar, I don't know why you would, but if it ever was, you do still get credit for getting fragments, even if you're not getting the fragments in a fortress during a brilliant event. So, that was a lot. Place 5 brilliant Quidditch changing room page images in the registry. We're going to do that right now. So, let's head over to the registry. Then we'll talk about where I am and my challenge for the day. Over here at the registry, you can see 4 images ready to go. Crookshanks is 4 out of 5. I actually have 2 brilliant port keys I haven't even opened. I did want to show you the inside of one of the port keys if you haven't seen. I always like to do that just in case somebody can't walk port keys and you're watching one of my videos. I want you to be able to see what the inside of this event's port key look like, if it's something new or even if it's not. So let's start out with, we'll start out with Ron, why not? Harry, something odd just happened to me. Hermione warned me against taking her to the 3 broomsticks for Valentine's Day again. There's nothing odd about that, Ron. You've subjected Hermione to the 3 broomsticks 5 years in a row. I'm surprised she hasn't transfigured you into a toad by now. I thought it was romantic. At any rate, Hermione's message isn't what's odd. What's odd is how I received it. Remember when I could suddenly recall a conversation with Grimm that I couldn't possibly have had? It was like that, like someone had mucked about in my head. It sounds like Hermione implanted a false memory in your foundable, but that shouldn't be possible unless... Ooh, is Hermione trying to mess with it now? Maybe you already know. I'm about to click on Hermione. Maybe we'll find out. Let's place her image. Funny story. At Ginny and I's wedding, a few of my friends and former classmates admitted that they wondered if Hermione and I would end up together. Of course they did. Hermione's a great friend. I probably wouldn't be here now if not for her, but we never would have worked out. Ron's a much better compliment for her. Speaking of Hermione, have you talked to her recently? Seems she barely leaves her office these days. Apparently she's working on an important project and doesn't want to be disturbed. I tried prodding her for details, but she was very secretive about it. I bet my wand she's working on something for Ron for Valentine's Day. She always did strike me as the secretly romantic type. Well, nothing there to let us know. Might find out at the end of the whole thing. Let's go ahead and place Cormac. Now, we just got him as a fragment reward from the 4th set of tasks. I don't think these foundables are made up of my memories. When I create a surge, I always feel a sense of wholeness every time a foundable is returned, like I've been reunited with the missing part of myself. But we've returned multiple foundables now, and nothing. I can't say I feel the sense of unease that comes from having a memory stolen by the calamity either. Curious, is it possible these memories are so minor that you didn't notice them being snatched and returned? This is the calamity we're talking about, so I'm reluctant to dismiss the idea outright. It's certainly true I haven't thought about Cormac in years, but I think the more likely explanation is that this isn't my surge. But if you're not the one influencing the calamity, who is? And why are they interested in your friends and schoolmates? Honestly, everybody involved, Crookshanks, all that, it's all Hermione, obviously. I did get a rank up to 18 in the family, so that's good. Let's go ahead and place Lavender. Lavender Brown. I haven't thought about her in some time. She and Ron dated in the 6th year, you know. Hermione would get so flustered whenever they snogged in public. Looking back, I think that's probably when Hermione realized just how much she cared about Ron. So it's not an exaggeration then to say that Hermione's memories of Lavender Brown are an integral part of her and Ron's history as a couple. I suppose you could say that, couldn't you? Come to think of it, all these foundables could be tied back to Hermione and Ron's relationship in some way. Either the Valentine's season got the Calamity feeling romantic, or there's something more to the surge that we're not yet seeing. Alright, so we still have Crookshanks, so let's back out and go over to Portkeys, and let's go into a Portkey real quick. So just in case you don't get a chance to go into a Portkey, we can look around one here. It's a tea shop. Or I say the tea shop. Nothing actually too special in this. Like there's nothing outside the window, like some people or something cool like that. Very much just a tea shop with some Valentine's Day decorations. So I'll go ahead and back out. Nice. So 85 family experience as well as the 5th fragment. 85 brilliant. And if you look at my Portkeys, I actually have a bunch of brilliants. I'm mainly getting those because it's just to rank up. I'm at rank 18 of the brilliant family. I have a bunch of those because they can drop a decent chunk of family experience and then I can rank that up. Not that getting to rank 65 gets you anything in the registry. But let's go back in the registry, back to events. Probably have a rank up for this because actually a couple rank ups because I just got 85 family experience, so I should make it to 20. But making it to 65, you can grind out foundables, and I'll certainly do that, the second part of this event. But then in addition, the Portkeys can drop me big chunks that just help me along a little bit more. All right, so let's place Crookshanks. 1,000 experience for that too, which is nice. You know the adage about pets and their owners resembling each other? A case could be made for Hermione and Crookshanks, at least from a personality perspective. Crookshanks was incredibly smart and perceptive, a bit stubborn and bossy, perhaps, but affectionate too and protective of those he cared about. He was always after Ron's rat, Scabbers. Of course, it turned out that Crookshanks had good reason for that. But at the time, I couldn't help but laugh at how much it reminded me of Hermione and Ron's own dynamic. Oh, that's nice. All right, so after placing all the images, I'm going to back out, and usually that's going to get us some more story text. So let's back out. And here we go. And it is Hermione. Harry, I did it! I manipulated the Calamity and started this surge. It took longer than I'd hoped to sort the magic out, but I finally did it. Yeah, I think a lot of us would have guessed this. That's brilliant, Hermione. Though I don't know why I'm surprised. If anyone's capable of it, it's you. You were right, though. It isn't easy. I thought the Patronus charm was difficult, but this is an entirely different level. Still, it was worth the effort. Adversaries prove the unforgivable are growing stronger. Combating their influence on the Calamity is only going to get harder. At least now I can help. You don't know how appreciative I am of that. We have reason to believe multiple members of the Unforgivable can manipulate the Calamity. It'll be good to have another person on our side who can. Though I think I'll try to guide the next wave in a less personal direction. The Valentine's Day fervor had me convinced that pulling memories of Ron and I's early days was a good idea. But now that's on display for the whole world, well, to say it's embarrassing is a bit of an understatement, isn't it? So there you go. Let me collect some energy. So if you've watched my videos before, you may recognize this lake. This is Cocoa Booth Amphitheater. It's an amphitheater where they do music, live concerts, other live things. The symphony plays here, that kind of thing, outdoor concerts. July 4th fireworks happen here. But as of late, obviously none of that happening. People do like to come run here. But it's generally a good place to play these days because it's not so crowded and there's not any events ever happening. So the reason I'm up here, though, we have in special assignments. Let me go ahead and collect that red book for that. We have to earn some wizarding experience. No worries there. I'm going to put a Brufio's and a tonic on in a second. 25 Legends of Hogwarts. I've gotten 1. And then perform 10 masterful spell casts. So my challenge for the day is to get my masterful spellcast only returning Legends of Hogwarts, which is probably going to be a lot of Angelina Johnson. And Angelina Johnson's is the M-shaped cast, which I'm terrible at. I struggle to get masterfuls on, for sure. I can get goods and greats okay, but masterful's definitely a struggle. It is 12:40. I have until 2 o'clock, so I have 1 hour and 20 minutes. So I'm going to try to stick to my guns on this one and only do Legends of Hogwarts until I get the 10 Masterfuls. And then I'll move on from there and start getting other things. And I'll probably definitely throw a Trace Charm on a George if I see one, or I guess a Fred too. But anything like that, I'll probably do. But we're trying to get those 10 Masterful Spellcasts on Angelina's as well as George's. I could actually get them not too bad on those. That might be my saving grace, is I might get all 10 on him. Anyway, it's time to throw a Brufios on, throw a Tonic on, go out to this area here, and just start getting Legends of Hogwarts foundables. With about 15 minutes to spare, we did pull it off. So, man, a lot just happened in all that. A couple Dracos, you saw the end of that. Trace Charm to Three-Headed Dog, that was like right off the bat. The Peruvian Viper Tooth, that was toward the end. I Trace Charmed that as well, because I was at 0 fragments, so I got 4 fragments out of that. Legends of Hogwarts, Angelina Johnson, I got 1 Masterful for sure. I remember that. I might have gotten 2. If I got 2, you saw both of them in the montage a second ago. Besides that, though, surprisingly Ridiculous, which is also a spell I'm not usually good at. I kept running into Hermione's, so ended up getting a bunch of my Masterfuls off of that. Even one that I think departed on me, I got like 3 Masterfuls before it departed, so that went, and I got credit toward it. So you also saw a couple of Hedwigs in there, a bunch of Georges, although I just wasn't on for Masterfuls today. There's other days where I seem to be able to hit that all the time, but not today. Hedwig's pretty easy, and then a couple of Filches, couldn't get Masterfuls on. There was 2 of them. You didn't see them because I didn't end up getting Masterfuls on them anyway, but they did count toward the Hogwarts. Angelina Johnson, although I said I got 1 or 2, I saw a bunch of her departed on me, and I actually did return a bunch, but just with great casts, not with Masterful casts. But anyway, let's head over to special assignments. The 12,500 after I Trace Charmed the Three-Headed Dog, I was a good portion of the way there, so that really helped. The 24 Legends of Hogwarts, it actually was slow going at the beginning. I was a little worried. Even with the Trace Charm, I just wasn't seeing a lot. But as I walked around the lake, or about halfway around, I turned around and came back. It actually seemed to pick up in a different section. That's when I started seeing all those Hermiones, actually. And so the last thing here, perform 10 Masterful Spellcasts. Like I said, all on Legends of Hogwarts. I actually did return some other foundables, and either just knew I wasn't going to get Masterfuls, or on some of them, I actually purposely went slow to just get greats, just so I could still keep that challenge for myself of only getting them on Legends, which I did manage to pull off, and then some beyond that, because even after I got done, I still wanted to see if I could get it, just for good practice. So let's go ahead and collect this. I'm going to get the fragments of Crookshanks, although I've placed the image, this will let me place it again. Some experience, Defense Against Dark Arts books, 100 family experience, which gets you 2 rank ups plus a little bit more, a half. So event finished, it is 1:48, so 12 minutes to spare, which the Aragog event actually starts in 12 minutes or 11 minutes from now. Which, speaking of that, I did actually do one of the things I said I would do. I actually just finished a potion a little bit ago, so my potions are cleared out. just ready to enter those master notes. So one thing I am going to do, because I have all those port keys that I'm walking to get those more fragments and more family experiences, I'm actually going to place Crookshanks one more time, which gets you 1,000 experience, which is nice, and then 10 brilliant. So it looks like rank 23 is where I'm going to end this event, and going into week 2 or part 2 of it, I'll be at rank, except for I'm going to walk those port keys, so that actually might jump me up some, depending on how many I get out of that. I was a bit low on energy too, so I'm actually happy to get topped off on energy. I'm at 230 something. I think I was at like 100 and something coming here, so I'm glad for that. Oh, even though we are done with the masterfuls, Angelina Johnson just appeared. I have one more chance right now to get a perfect. Oh. You can see I come pretty close. It's just not quite there. It's always that yellow. And then, well, I'll get a second chance here. Nope, this happened a bunch. What you just saw right there, that happened a bunch. Where I was like, okay, I'll try it again next time. Nope, she ran on me, which is fine. It took a little longer, but it was fun to make the effort. That's a spell I think I'm just going to have to continue to practice and practice. I'm just not fast enough, and I'm never quite accurate enough on it. Although the Aragog event starts in just a little bit, and I may be able to do 1 or 2 Aragogs, possibly, but Tuesdays, like I said, are usually a bad day for events to begin for me, because as you can see, I played here in the morning, which is fine, but I actually have work always later in the afternoon, so I actually have to get heading in just a second. So the Aragog video will most likely start tomorrow for me. I'll probably begin the event today a bit and start doing those potions and that kind of thing, but tomorrow will be the bulk of it, where I really come out and really knock out a ton of adversaries. As part 1 of this brilliant event comes to a close, I hope you were able to finish everything you could finish or wanted to finish, and as always, thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you guys for some Aragog tomorrow. Nox.